Oh, okay.
Hi, it's Johanna Cox with That'sJustSmart.com again, and we're talking about the APS proposed tax increase. Today, my guests are Janice Arnold-Jones and Frank Ruvolo, people who need no introduction, and if you're following us, you've heard their wonderful background already. We brought them back on the show to discuss one other issue about the APS tax proposals. Again, as you know, there's 3 questions that are being proposed. This election's really unique. For those of you that were in New Mexico or the United States, back in November, we had a major election. There were several months of campaigning. People went back to voting locations and filled out ballots. Some did, you had to register to vote. There were absentee ballots. There was a lot of process that went into the November election that we just finished. This APS election, though, is a little bit different. Starting today, January 8th, these ballots with the 3 questions are being mailed out, and the responses are being mailed back. It's a very quick turnaround. They have to be returned by February 5th, so it's a little less than a month. And since this is a unique election process, I wanted to take the time with my guests today to discuss the uniqueness of this procedure and why it's interesting that APS didn't either use last November or the upcoming November election cycle in order to discuss or propose these 3 questions. So guests, with that introduction, perhaps you can kind of give an initial opinion on it, and then we'll talk a little bit more in detail about what probably would have been a better election process or voting process for these ballot issues.
Sure. Well, this is a mail-in election, which means it's like an absentee ballot election. And they mail you the ballot, and then you have to follow the instructions to send it back in. And that's fine, that works well, but there's no verification. There's no verification. So anybody who gets a ballot can fill out the name that the ballot is addressed to and send it back in, and it will be counted because there is no verification. So if you're going to get a ballot in the mail, make sure it's yours and then handle it appropriately. But don't let it get into the hands of other people, because there's lots of other people that would like to get your ballot and execute their idea, and it's not your idea. So and that's a sad thing, that the whole process of counting absentee ballots is kind of an interesting thing. I spent a lot of time at the ballot warehouse watching this. But there is no verification for the signature that's on the ballot. Janice?
So this is the first of the consolidated elections. So, and forgive me, either 2017 or early 2018, we passed a new law that would consolidate our elections. And the entity, APS, instead of conducting its own election, either had to be on the ballot in November, or they could conduct a mail-in election. And I'm sure that the reason that they are doing this is, you may remember that APS, our school elections, were always held in February, specifically by Constitution, so women could participate.
Oh, that's nice of them.
That's right.
And so kind of, but the truth is they averaged between 6 and 7% voter turnout. So they're expecting about 25% voter participation here. So here are 2 things to think about. One is, it is the voter's responsibility to update their voter registration address. Now, I can tell you as a candidate that the voter registration addresses are about 40% wrong. If you do not proactively go to the Secretary of State's website and update your address, your ballot will be sent wherever you registered. And the truth is that whoever is there, if they see it and they know what it is, they can vote it. And while it may be a felony to do that, if nobody is verifying the signature, so what? And so how this works is there is an outer ballot, and then there's the end that has your signature on it. Once that outer ballot is removed, they can't check anything. So please don't allow your vote to be harvested, which is the other thing that happened in the last election, is there are entities who want to push an agenda, and they will go track you down, or they have lists of places where there are multiple people registered. They'll just be waiting for the mailman to come and drop off the ballots, and they will take them. So if you're expecting a ballot and you didn't get it, you should be able to get a provisional ballot, but I shudder to think that this is a new process. Voter integrity, election integrity in this election is absolutely at the top of the list. We have a problem.
Thank you so much. Again, you can go to the Secretary of State's website. You can also go to your county clerk's office, so Bernalillo County or the part of APS that is located in Sandoval County. You can go to your clerk's office and also update it. I agree with Janice, you do have to be proactive. At one point here in the last year, I was registered under 2 different names at 2 different addresses, and it took almost 2 weeks. Ironically, that's a lot of 2s, but it took almost 2 weeks to get it sorted out, both with the county clerk's office and the Secretary of State's office. So please go push, make sure that you have the right address so that you can get a ballot. They are due back on February 5th of 2019. And again, for all 3 questions, your vote should be no. If you have any questions, please check out our other podcasts and websites and other information that we have available. This is Johanna Cox with That'sJustSmart.com. Thank you for listening again.